now that we're finished with Altezza stuff for today, we want to start working on Daiki's car. So the main thing is we're not going to be doing a tube front end on this. That's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be very expensive. And we're trying to do everything on a budget, but still make everything look good. This car has never had a non-bent front end or radiator support on this car. Right, Daiki? The whole time you've owned this, has it ever had a straight one?
No.
Never. So this is where this comes in. Now you can still get these complete from Nissan. If you do need one, you can reach out to us on the contact form on SAMMIT.net and we would be happy to purchase one, package it up and get it shipped to you. Shipping's probably actually not gonna be that much, probably a few $100 US, but these things are about 600 USD, give or take, and it's a full complete front end. Now our goal is, we're gonna be cutting this out today and we're gonna be using what we have left to kind of line everything up and plug weld it back in exactly as it should be OEM, right? And then he's gonna get a whole new front end for him to crash into. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but this will be a really good start for the season and for this year, and then probably next year for, and the next season, we can probably, tube front end his car. My car has always had the stock front end as well. Tubing the front end is something I want to do, but I'll probably do that next year as well. So we'll probably both do it at the same time, but we're all learning together. So let's get started on this. And you might be wondering how we're going to line this up and get that perfect. It's going to be pretty difficult for this section here because there actually used to be an S13 180SX radiator support welded onto this. So I can't go by any scribe lines here. What I'm gonna have to do is go by scribe lines here on the rails and line everything up based on the rail and the front tension arm bracket here, or the power brace, the Nismo power brace that's in here. So we can use these two big bolts that come in here on each side. That will help us line up and match up with this, which then we can then go off scribe lines that I'm gonna put here following the line of this panel. And then we'll be able to kind of have this lined up and then bring these into where they need to be to line everything up. I think it's better. To be honest, we should be going by the frame rails. I think that's probably better than going by the edges, because the edges and the corners have been hit so many times, but the frame rails have always remained straight and undamaged. So we'll go off that. That's probably the best thing to do. So we got to start undoing all these welds. And at some point it got reinforced and tack welded all along here. So we're going to have to work on that, but it should be relatively straightforward. At least I hope, right? I hope we don't find any nasty stuff. So let's get the tools out and get started. It's out! Woo! That was tough. We're hitting everything with like a zinc spot, weld through primer. That's going to prevent, any kind of rust forming with any of the joins and stuff. Super important that you put that on before you put any panels together. I like to hit front and back. Let's get it on any bare metal where there's going to be weld, because it's going to end up galvanizing the weld and preventing it from rusting, which is awesome. So I just put it everywhere I can. Luckily it dries really, really quick. Now, we have our scribe lines here for the back. Our two bolting holes, which are going to go in here, which is awesome. Now we can pretty much try to line this up. Now, the tricky thing is We don't actually have an idea of where the spot welds are because Daiki's was so messed up and welded over so many times. The only thing I know where the spot welds are is that there's usually 3 up the top here. It's like there's like 1, 2, 3 here, and then another one here. So there's like 4 on each side at the top. And then what I know about the bottom part is that there's 3 spot welds along here. There'll be 1 here and then 2 here. So we'll have to drill those out because I don't obviously have a spot welding machine. I'm going to be plug welding it. But what I would really like to do is, well, probably first thing actually, let's drill those holes where we know where the spot welds are going to be. Then we'll put it in place. We'll use all of our panel and vice grips that we have to hold it all in place and where it needs to, and then we'll start plugging it. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I'm going to also just look over my S15 and the abandoned S15 to get an idea if there's any other spot welds that we're missing. I know there's definitely supposed to be at least like 2 on the top here, but once again, Daiki's was welded on top of, so it was really hard to find them. But you can kind of see and feel where they should be by looking inside the rail here. So I'll kind of just figure that out. I'll get a block of wood and start drilling some holes into the new panel, and it should go on. Now, one thing I do want to explain is obviously Daiki is not running any tubs. And what you usually see on this is this gets kind of pinch welded here, and there'll be a bunch of spot welds that goes into the part that is the tub here. We're not going to be running that. We're still going to be running this panel here though, but it's just going to kind of be free floating there. And we will be obviously cutting a bit probably from here out just for intercooler pipes and stuff, depending on what kind of setup. But looking over at my S15 here, will give us a really good, actually we probably just look at the comp car maybe? Yeah, you can see the 3 spot welds are like here, and then we can't see that one in there. We might have to just go with the abandoned S15 because, well, mine doesn't have fenders on it actually. So I'm pretty right, there's a spot weld here, and then you can just see 1, 2, and 3 there. And then, I don't know, looking down from the top here is gonna be hard too to figure out. We'll figure it out. We're just gonna have to, I think, look, at the end of the day, we're going to be using those plug welds, but we also are going to be stitch welding the whole thing on there. So regardless, it's going to be on there nice and strong and firm. We're just going to have to take our time and go slow. So next clip will be us hopefully tacking that in place. All the prep work is done. All of the weld through primer is dried. Now we get to put this in, line up the tops with the bottom after we kind of like, you know, we're going to go by these scribe marks, right? So I just got like a what do you call it? Like a really long, skinny, sharp edge. And I just, you know, scribed it into the metal there so we know what we have to line this all up to. Now, if we're lucky, this should, oh, like butter. Oh, I love it. I love it when stuff just works. Give it a little shimmy, shimmy. Now, these ones we were expecting to be difficult, purely just because there was an old S13, you know, 180SX rad support in here before. Mm-hmm. But this is looking good. This is looking really good so far. Oh, this is actually looking really good. Daiki, this is looking really good.
Doesn't mean my sashi is not bended yet.
It's not too bad, yeah. It's not too bad. All right, I definitely gotta start clamping things up, but it's looking really good. So I want to line the top up on this side with the scribe mark. I'm gonna put the panel on here, making sure it's nice and tight. Okay. Now we want to line this side up with the scribe mark on the top, and then we'll do the bottom, and then we'll rely on the bolts in the power brace. A little tighter, a little tighter. Nice. This side, I want it a little more in.
Take your time on everything. Okay. Where's my flashlight so I can start triple checking stuff? Now, we've got the tops lined up with the scribe marks there. Now we know the bottom still needs to come forward a bit because you can see the bottom there isn't lined up, but the top is. So what we've got to do is pull the bottom this way a bit. These things are never perfectly straight, right? Like these always will be a little bit off, but you can see like I still have a lot of movement here, right? To pivot off. So that's what we're gonna do is pull that forward, and then I'm gonna put these bolts in after we line up the bottom of the scribe lines off the power brace down here. So that's why I'm glad that we still had this in here, and that's what we're lining all of this up with. And then we'll then just connect those together.
A few moments later.
Well, this was a little more complicated than just putting 4 bolts in and using some clamps. We've got a total of 4 or 5 ratchet straps, like everywhere, kind of pulling everything together. It turns out his rails were a little, you know, out of place. We've got them back in place now. Bunch of pressure on there. I'm a little scared, but we should be good to start welding everything in place now, and I think it's gonna go really, really well. So, make some space, get my little welding seat, get my helmet on, and let's start going to town. Oh, it's been fun, but honestly, not too bad. This is not that bad of a job. It's definitely like, you know, if you haven't got any experience with it, it'd be tough, but I also recommend just give it a go. And now this is where we're gonna leave today. I've done a ton of stitch welding, we've stitch welded everything and whatnot. This is all plugged up. There's only one thing we haven't been able to do, and that's this side. And at some point, this side got like hit pretty hard, and this is twisted and kind of up higher. So as you can see, it's not really lining up here at all, but this is the only part that's not lining up. Everywhere else is great. So what we're gonna do, and we've tried pulling it, using like my car and stuff like that, it's just not gonna happen until we get this out front and put it between 2 big poles, or use 2 cars either side on the ground for weight to like brace the car left to right, and then we'll be able to just pull this over. And I'm also gonna put a bigger ratchet strap, or 2 ratchet straps here to help pull it, like twist it this way, because what's happening is it's high, it's this way, but mainly that's all caused because this is like twisted. Wait, it's twisted this way up. So we need to untwist it this way and then pull it over this way a little bit, and then it'll line up fine. But yeah, otherwise, we're all good. This thing is in, it looks way better than it was before. It's pretty awesome, honestly. I do want to put some reinforcement plates on the bottom and stuff like that, but for the most part, plug welds are all done, stitch welding's all done, everything lines up. It's got a front end.
Dang.
I'm excited. A lot of work done today. We did tons of stuff. Obviously, we got a lot done in the Altezza. I'm stoked about that. Bumpers get painted tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have that pulled, do a little bit more. Tomorrow, dude, we're like a body shop right now, but by no means are we a body shop, of course. Yeah. I still got to weld up all these little holes here. It's 10:49 p.m. I still have a video to edit, and wait, I have a meeting in 10 minutes. I have a meeting with a company in the US in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go upstairs and do that, and we should be good. But I'm really stoked on how this turned out. Couldn't have gone any better, honestly. Very happy with that. That's a pretty big accomplishment for me. I'm stoked.
The next day.
It is now the next day, and I've got Daiki's car off the lift, and we've had it out the front, and I have just been hyper focused on getting this thing done. Also, I've got to return all of these floppy disks I got on Amazon. They're supposed to be 15 mil, well, they're like 16.5, and they're way too big. Even though they all say 15 mil, they're not. So China special, I guess. So all of those vibrate and aren't even lined up properly on the angle grinder. But look at this. It's all on. We had to use the truck. It's the ratchet straps with the Altezza and stuff. And all I did was pull this over a tiny bit and it all came back into place and lined it all up. So this side I just got a little bent and some accidents. I welded up all the self-tapper screw holes from all the different Origin kits that have been fitted on here over the years. So that's what all of this is and stuff. So Daiki's going through now, tightening everything up, but I stitch welded everything. Everything's stitch welded everywhere. So this thing should be really rigid and solid. I also welded up this crack, but we already ordered a whole new power brace for Daiki from Nismo, so that'll be arriving probably tomorrow and we'll bolt that in. But still, he could use that as a spare on his 180. But look how good it looks, dude. I'm so happy. Daiki, is this the first time you've had like such a nice front end on this car?
Yeah. Yes.
How long is it gonna last?
What do you mean? How long?
How long will this stay this nice?
どういうこと?
Like how long before you crash? Or how long does someone crash into you? He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't get sarcasm or like banter. He's getting there. He's getting there. Do you know what banter is? Banter is like you joke with your friends and tease them. It's like ちょっと意地悪を遊ぶから. Like, you know, with your friends?
Yeah,
you joke to your friend? Yeah. Yeah. You okay? Cold? Summer. It's cold outside now. It was warm today. But yeah, I'm really stoked on how this turned out. And it looks really straight. I hope the camera does it justice, but it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now we got to pressure wash and clean this bay, and then we'll push it inside. But Daiki's got a sponsor meeting to go to, so we'll probably do that tomorrow. Since the last clip, Daiki has gone around and just hit everything with like a black undercoat, just so that nothing flashed off and rusted. So you can see like all the holes we fixed and welded up are all completely coated. All of the stitch welding and everything looks really, really good. He's done a pretty decent job. Probably could do with another coat. But what have you got in that box, mister? It's Daiki's turn to do a box opening. I'm so thankful though that Nismo still makes these. What's in the box? What could it be? Hey! Is this your first new power brace?
Yeah, like kind of this, you know, but things is new.
You've never had a new one before, right?
Yeah.
First time?
First time.
Yo. I love that they still make these. Such an underrated part. If you don't have a proper power brace on your car, you should, especially if you're drifting, because these flex so much without them. And the Nismo ones are also a thicker gauge steel that they stamp these out of, so it's even more stronger. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with your lower arms, right? You're running Nismo lower arms. It's a thicker gauge steel. It's a little thicker, like 0.5 mil or something. Come from the factory with a scratch.
No.
What?
I need to call What?
That's crazy. It was even wrapped up. We didn't do anything. There's no damage in the wrapping either, but it's scratched from the factory.
Oh no, Nismo. Oh.
That's nice. Already got the plates and everything. Yeah, this is what like these right now are about 50,000 Japanese yen, so they're still a really good bargain. And like I said, you need these if you're drifting because these flex so much on your chassis otherwise. Now the ultimate test. If this will bolt up identically on that with no problem, then we've done a great job and everything's in line. So let's get some tools and zap off this old one and get his new one in. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a tiny bit nervous whether or not everything's gonna fit or if anything's shift. I'm a little concerned, I'm not gonna lie. Another really underrated part, guys, is the high clearance GK arms. There is no other company that I know of that makes a tension arm with this high clearance like this. The GK one's a king. For those wondering, no, that's not a keyboard and mouse there. He's just using that box because his power steering cooler was like the perfect size to slide into it. Gosh, that didn't sound... I hope it's okay.
わ、やばいこれ。
何？
ナットが上でスピンしてる。
嘘! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst. Alright, we got the old one out. Whew. Time to see if the new one lines up. Nice, shiny. We looking good?
Yes, maybe.
Ooh. Everything lines up. Ding, 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 ding. The front end is straight, baby. We were able to, like the nut was kind of floating there. I got in the right position and I was able to get that bolt started. I am gonna just cut a hole here and we'll do that once it's back on the lift, and I'll weld that nut back to the frame. And then we'll close it back up and weld it. But it's just air chassis things, man. That does happen on these, unfortunately. But yeah, just make sure that's all tight and it should be good. Now we're putting caster arms, traction arms back in. Tension arms, sorry, my bad. Well, with the new power brace in there, I think it's safe to say I am pretty much done with Daiki's front end now. Very happy with that. And we can leave that as is. And now we got to wait for the fuel cell to turn up, which should be tomorrow or the day after. And then we'll be able to start making our measurements and cutting out the old hump here where the old fuel tank usually is under, and making space. You guys know I've already made the clearancing there for the quick change. And once we get that cut out, I can make a reinforcement bar that goes from that bolting point to that bolting point of the rear subframe, but that goes like in behind here. And then we'll start building that cage and temporary firewall and everything. We've already cut out his entire parcel shelf too. If I show this to you, you can see we've got the whole speaker shelf, and then we're going to be undoing the spot welds on this. This has to stay in the car. It's like a D1 regulation now too, that this is supposed to stay here. So we've got to make sure that's there. I've already done a bunch of welding over there and sealed things up, but yeah, this is all got to get chopped out, boxed. Fuel cell's got to be like here. Temporary firewall's got to come up to like here and kind of come here as well. So this will be where the windscreen will kind of come to, and then radiator here as well. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. This is my first time actually doing this to a car, and we've just kind of been winging it so far, but luckily there's a lot of stuff and information out there, and even 3D scans of these cars that we're able to base a lot of stuff off and figure out measurements and start to fabricate and work it all out. We are definitely getting a lot of work done. I'm still recovering from being sick. You know, parents things, your kids bring home stuff from daycare all the time. You get sick, then you think you've gotten through it, so you start going back to work, and then that leads to you getting a sinus infection, and things get even worse, but you gotta still keep working. So I'm finally on the up mend now. I got the right medication, and we figured out finally what was wrong with me. This whole time I thought it was really bad hay fever, but it was really bad hay fever mixed in with a sinus infection from a cold that Hugo gave me. So I'm starting to sound a little better. Hopefully my voice isn't as croaky coming in the next few days, but yeah. Anyways, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Go get the new merch. If you want to support us this year with FD, put your name on the FD car. Make sure you go to the website and grab one of those as well. I love it seeing all of you guys coming and supporting us. I could not be able to do this year, especially without your support. So thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna get back to work. We're gonna start working on the Altezza next, so that'll be in the next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm on to the grind, baby. Peace. Jamata.